Hi, this is John Wright, President of the Arizona Education Association, and I'd like to talk with you all about just a couple of issues that are current, and I'd like to reiterate a couple of points I've made in speaking with some of you recently. First, here we are, post-budget and post-veto. We know that Governor Brewer vetoed the repeal of the property tax, the school equalization tax, and that was really quite a bold step, and it means an extra $250 million available to schools through the budget. We also know that she vetoed a couple of principal tax cuts, once again against Republican leadership, and that was also very helpful to us, and that's additional funding that will be available. But of course the budget still is out of balance by about $1 billion, and that will have to be addressed. We also know that there is some policy language there which makes our work and our local associations' work much more difficult, and we'll need to address that as well. It seems less and less as if there will be a special session. Budget fatigue has set in both at the legislature and in the governor's office. So it's very likely that these issues will be addressed in the regular session when they return in January. What you all do know and can count on is you'll get up-to-date information from the AEA. We'll have some suggestions and some requests for you all to help communicate with the legislature, with your legislators, and with the governor. And we'll certainly be ready for action once they come back to work in January. Your grassroots effort really did make a difference, and it gave us some room to maneuver and additional spending for all of our schools and classrooms. Now, I'd like to end with one other issue that came to me this morning in a phone call I had from a parent. She's a parent of an elementary school student here in the metropolitan Phoenix area. A mom called me, and she was still really upset about what to do about the censorship of President Obama's speech to school children a couple of weeks ago. She acknowledged that the issue has passed, but it had not passed in her thinking, and she was just really distraught that her child had to get a permission slip signed in order to be able to watch the president speak. We had a long phone conversation. She said she had spoken to the principal, and I suggested, of course, that she talk to the local school board, perhaps individually to the different members and to the call to the public time at the board meeting, and that she do some of the other activities that we all know, write a letter to the editor or write a letter to a number of editors for different newspapers. The point, though, was that she knew, and she and I realized in conversation, that we can't be quiet. That if the only voices out there around this issue or others are the irrational voices, are the voices that of discontent, then those will only be heard. We need to have our voices heard. We need to have some reasonable voices heard. So whether it's about our president being able to address school children, or an issue in your community or in your neighborhood school, or state politics or policy, we have to remember we cannot let the other voices be the loudest or the only voices. We have to have our voices. And you all are wonderful at that. The AEA and our membership will always make sure that we're heard. But for me, this conversation with a mom was a reminder. If something is not right, we can't just sit back and shake our heads. Let your opinion be known. Thanks, and I'll talk to you again very soon.